Hey guys, how's it going? You're gonna not hurt you guys. First off, thanks for checking out the video. As always, feel free to like, share, subscribe, go check out some of my other videos. So what I wanted to do today is a real quick video showing you guys how to change out your hammer spring on your CZ. Now this is my SP01 Tactical. It's fully Cajunized. I've done multiple videos showing this gun. Currently it's supporting an 11.5 pound hammer spring. Originally it had the 13-pound hammer spring. We'll talk about that more in a minute. I just wanted to do a video showing you guys how to change it out because there's not a whole lot of videos out there. So I just figured I'd do it. After we show you guys how to do it, we'll talk in discussion more about the 11.5 hammer spring and how it compares to the 13-pound hammer spring. So first off, you want to verify that it is unloaded, no mag in it. And then at this point, you can just hit your decocker just to let the hammer down. And what you're going to want to do is get the proper size Phillips head. This is a ratcheting screwdriver, so you want to make sure you're going the right way. So we're loosening it. And you're going to remove your grip screws. These are the Cajun Gunworks grip screws, and they are a Phillips head. You want to make sure you have the right sized head for your screw so you don't strip it out. Okay, so there's one grip. This is the kind of looks pink in the video. It's the lighting. This is a red grip, and the grip screw is right here. We will put it with it. Now at this point, you will flip it over and basically do the same thing to the other side. Just loosen up your grip so you can take it off. Okay, we got our screw down in there, and this is the other grip. We'll sit those to the side. Basically what you want to do now is you want to get yourself a 3/32 punch, or I use an Allen key just because all my punches are broken. But you pull out your little Allen key, and what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to push out this little pin right here on the bottom. Now the easiest way to do it is to sit your gun on a hard surface, push up a little bit, and then take your punch or whatever you're using and push it out. And then you'll see that this is actually going to pop out, and then it will look like this. Now, do you guys see the direction of how that U notch is facing forward and this is on the back? This is how it's going to go back in. We'll go over in detail. Now, once it's here, basically what you want to do is you want to take your mag brake and get it out. You're just going to grab it from the other side and just pull it. Don't be afraid to break this thing. It just pops right out. It does take some slight enforcing, but it will come out. So once that comes out, that should just kind of float in there, and this will actually come out. You'll pull this down, you'll sit that to your side, and here is your hammer spring. This is the 11.5 pound. Okay guys, after you reinsert your new spring back in there, after it's completely broke down, you're going to take this part here. This is actually your lanyard loop, and you're going to want it facing this direction. So this is going to be all solid. You're going to want this to face the back. Now you're just going to insert it up in here and push it, and then you can sit it down on a hard surface and push it in there, and then just reinsert your pin pretty much. Make sure this is right, and just push your pin all the way through. So there you go. So your pin's back in, and then pretty much all you have to do is put your mag brake back in. The easiest way I've found to do that is to grab your mag brake, excuse me, and it's kind of going to be hard to show you guys on camera, but you're just going to flop it down in there like that. So now your mag brake is back to being installed, and everything's happy go jolly there. So then at this point, you're just going to reinstall your grips. So we'll sit this guy down. We will flip our ratcheting screwdriver to tightening. We'll set our grips back down there and just tighten them back down. Now you don't need to kill these, just tighten them enough so they don't basically rattle. It doesn't hurt to throw a little bit of Loctite on here, but we're not going to today just because I already have some on here. Now I know it is old, but it'll be alright. You don't have to do that. Okay, now that the grips are reinstalled, your hammer spring is reinstalled, you're going to test function. Okay, guys, so now that you switched out your hammer spring and you got your grips reinstalled and everything like that, you function checked it, let's talk about why you would want to switch out your hammer spring. Now, switching out your hammer spring is kind of common sense. It's going to lighten your trigger pull. With your stock internals, you're not going to want to drop below a 15-pound hammer spring. A 15-pound hammer spring is the minimum you need to have a reliable gun with your stock internals. Now, if you want to go lighter than 15-pound hammer spring, a 15-pound hammer spring will probably get you about a 9-pound double action, I'm going to say. Obviously, it depends on your gun and everything like that, and if you polished and how good of a job you did polishing. And, you know, each gun's different. If you want to go lighter than that, you're going to need to install the Cajun Gunworks Pro package or a comparable package. CZC offers a comparable package. But Cajun Gunworks Pro package is what most guys are going to install, and that's what I've installed, so that's what we're going to talk about. Now, Cajun Gunworks sells a 13-pound hammer spring, a 11.5-pound hammer spring, and an 8.5-pound hammer spring. Whenever you send your gun to them or you order the parts for the Pro package, you have different options to go with different features. You can go with the Cajun Gunworks hammer, the CZC hammer, all this other stuff. And one of the options is your hammer spring itself. Now, most people are going to go with the 13-pound hammer spring. That's what David and Scott over at Cajun Gunworks are going to recommend because it's going to give you optimal reliability. You're not going to have any question of reliability. You can shoot any primers out of the 13-pound hammer spring. Your double action is going to be in the mid-7s. Roughly, most people's are about 7-pound 3-ounce to about 7-pound 8-ounce. You should be somewhere in there for your double action trigger pull. Single action, it depends on your hammer. The CZC hammer will get you a little bit lighter, but with the Cajun Gunworks hammer, you're going to be roughly, I want to say about somewhere in the 3-pound 3 to 3-pound 6, 3-pound 7 single action, roughly. I mean, it depends on the gun and everything like that. But you should be somewhere in there as far as your single action and your double action that we talked about. Now, if you drop it down to an 11.5-pound hammer spring, you're going to have to do some testing because not all guns like the 11.5-pound hammer spring. Not all primers like the 11.5-pound hammer spring. It depends on what your gun has. If you have the Pro package, I'm going to say more than likely you're going to be good. But obviously, if you're using your gun for any kind of self-defense, I wouldn't recommend it. If you're using your gun for competition, I would definitely do a lot of testing. Now, this gun is a competition gun, so I've done a lot of testing. I actually installed this 11.5-pound hammer spring in here a while ago, and we tested it. I've put cellular and Bell A 115 grain ball ammo through here. I've put Blazer Brass 115 grain ball ammo through here, some Remington ball ammo through here, some Winchester ball ammo through here. I've put different ammo through here, and I've tested it. CCI Blazer Brass, they're going to use CCI primers, which are going to be some of the hardest primers installed in the ammunition. And all this ammunition I shot was factory ammunition, and it was 100% reliable with the 11.5-pound hammer spring. So I was very impressed by that. As I said, it's going to depend on your gun. Some guns do not like the 11.5-pound hammer spring, and if you're using it for defensive purposes, do not do it. Do not do it at all because you want 100% reliability. Now, it's 100% reliable, but if it was a self-defense gun, I would not do it. If it's a competition gun, yes, do it. So if you want to lighten it. Now, what I'm getting out of this 11.5-pound hammer spring is roughly a, it kind of varies. My trigger pull gauge is shitty. You're going to get roughly high 5s, low 6s as far as your double action. It's coming in right around 6 pounds 1 ounce or something like that. That's what I was averaging out to about. So you're going to get roughly a 6-pound 1 ounce double action, which is incredible. And your single action is going to dip into the high 2s. So this is coming out right about 2 pounds 13 ounce single action with a 6-pound 1 ounce double action. This is a very, very nice combination. It's very, very smooth, obviously, with all the polishing and the kit and everything like that. The 13-pound hammer spring is very, very nice and very, very smooth. But whenever you get it down to where it is right now with this trigger pull, this double action is pretty comparable to the stock single action. I mean, honestly, I almost would rather shoot this gun in double action than I would single action, just because of how nice this double action trigger is. It is a very, very nice double action trigger, and proving to be a very, very reliable combination here. So that's why you may want to switch it out. Now again, the 13-pound hammer spring is going to give you optimal reliability. The way you tell the difference, if you by chance get them mixed up, the 13-pound hammer spring is going to be blue, the 11.5 is going to be black. This bag says 11.5, but this is the bag that the 11.5 came in. The blue spring was in the gun, and I just threw it in this bag just so I can keep track of it. So, you know, do some testing and figure it out. You know, if you're into competition and you have a Cajunized CZ and you haven't already tried the 11.5, you may want to give it a try. I don't know how much these springs are. David actually threw it in whenever he shipped me my gun back from installing the Pro package. So I've had the spring laying around for a little bit, and I figured I'd give it a try. If you don't already have one, order one. They're not that much money, and you may be impressed. It may get it even better. It's already a great gun from the factory, and then especially after that Pro package, it's an amazing gun. And then after, if you lighten it even more, go into this 11.5, and it still proves to be reliable, why not? It's just a fantastic gun, and I'm absolutely in love with it. Thanks for checking out the channel. As always, feel free to like, share, subscribe, go test some of my other videos. Be safe, guys. Have a good day.